What's up everybody, and thank you for joining me for another video. My name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. So we've got to talk about Dune Awakening. We really have the first preview of the gameplay, the combat, the flying, the world, all of that stuff in a live stream from Funcom earlier this week. And there's a lot to unpack here, so let's jump right into it. My breakdown of the live stream is going to be a multi-part series. I'm going to focus on gameplay and combat in this video, and then I'll come back and do some other videos focusing on other areas of the game. And this is where I tell you to subscribe and ring the bell and do all that stuff so you don't miss those videos. Right off the bat, we can see that there are two active abilities on the screen. It looks like later on they show the actual screen where all your abilities are, and there looks like there may be a third one that unlocks. I'm not 100% sure. It flashes on there real quick and then goes away, but it looks like we may have 3 active abilities. Now, as they use those abilities, you can see we have a two-part system to that ability use. We have a stamina drain that happens, and then after the stamina drain, after the ability is used, we then have a cooldown timer after that. And it looks like there are a lot of different abilities depending on the class that you choose to kind of change the gameplay style. So that's cool. Hopefully there's a lot of really fun different things that you can put together and mash up for just an amazing gameplay experience. Obviously, we have our hotbar on the right hand side of the screen, all the different weapons and tools that we can equip and use from the hotbar. And then on the left hand side, we have what looks to be stamina at the top, and then to the right, that would be health. At the bottom, we have what looks to be power, and then on the left hand side, that would be our water. And the water appears to give you extra buffs. So the more water you have, the more stamina you have, and the more health you have. It appears to double layer your bar with stamina and health, allowing you to use more stamina or take more damage. During the gameplay, we actually get to see a sandstorm come through. I'm not surprised that Funcom created another sandstorm. I mean, it makes sense, they are on a sandy desert, but it just feels like Conan Exiles all over again, where you're going to be dodging those sandstorms. One thing that they did say about the sandstorm was that if you have a vehicle that is exposed to that sandstorm, it is going to take damage. So you're going to want to make sure that you are putting that vehicle away. There's a system for putting it away, or that you're parking it inside shelter when you're not on it. Let's talk about inventory. They showed the inventory screen just a couple of times real quick during the gameplay, but I've got a real issue with what I'm seeing here. So not only do you have a space inventory, so you can only have so many items in your inventory, and that goes for player inventory and storage crates, but there also appears to be another requirement in there. It's got a V next to it, so I'm going to say that it's volume, and that looks to be a weight. So not only are you limited to how many items you can carry and store, but you're also limited at how much that stuff weighs. So it's kind of a double system there, and I just feel like storage crates shouldn't have a volume system where weight affects their ability to hold those items. Just give me a system where it can only hold so many items and stacks only go to a certain amount, and keep it simple. So that's kind of my first major concern with the game, but as we get into other things like harvesting and combat, I've got concerns with those too. Let's cover harvesting first. So in Dune Awakening, you scan the resource and then you trace a line with your laser cutter or whatever it is in order to get the most resources possible. And this looks fun for about 2 seconds. I can't imagine doing this for 1,000 hours. I can't imagine that continuing to be fun and engaging. Now, I understand that all games have some drawback to harvesting, whether it's an animation that you do where you're swinging an axe or whatever like that, but this is an interactive animation. You have to trace that line, and if you're doing that for thousands of hours, I'll be surprised if you don't absolutely hate it. I have a feeling right now I'm going to dislike harvesting the most in Dune Awakening. I can't imagine enjoying playing a mini game every single time I'm harvesting. Now, they didn't share any progression info in the live stream. However, you can see there's something written in the top left hand corner right underneath where their face cam is. My guess is that's going to be journey steps, and that as you complete those journey steps, that's what's actually going to give you levels and allow you to be a better character, level up, open up more exciting abilities and different tech. They mentioned tech in the live stream that you have to gather intel points in order to be able to unlock tech. So if we think about it like Conan Exiles, you have your attributes, which would be your skills in Dune Awakening, and then you have your knowledge, which would then be your tech in Dune Awakening. There's also some kind of permit system. They called it a schematic in the game, but if you stop and just read what that info page says when they're highlighted over it, it says that it's a permit, which makes me think that you're only going to be able to craft that one time. So the permits would be a one-time use, and then you can craft that item. And then if you want to recraft that specific item, you have to then get that permit again in order to craft it a second time. They didn't cover whether there was any ability to repair your items in this live stream. I'm not 100% sure on that. We'll have to wait for more information. But if there's no way to repair your items, that means you're going to be seeking these quote unquote legendary schematics for the best weapons and equipment all the time. Now let's talk about combat. Combat is a pain point for me watching it in this live stream. It looks stiff, it looks janky, and I know that they mentioned that they're going to polish combat in Dune Awakening as the game continues to progress, but I don't know that it's going to make such a difference that I'm going to be like, wow, the combat is fantastic in Dune Awakening. I have a feeling that this is going to be one of those you get what you get scenarios, and I'm worried that the combat already looks boring and just kind of stiff. Like, it looks really stiff and janky in my opinion, and I'm just not sure how I feel about the game coming out completed and then the polish coming to combat later. We'll have to see. This is one of those areas where Funcom is promising that they're going to deliver better combat in the future, and they're just going to have to deliver on that promise, or we're going to have to understand that this is the combat going forward. And I would say right now, just expect that this is the combat going forward. There may be a little bit of polish, but I don't think that it's going to be so much that it's a game changer. Now, they did mention during this live stream that they plan on doing a future live stream where they actually just address combat and go over combat in detail. So we'll have to wait and see what exactly that live stream has to offer. But honestly, right now, I'd probably just try to undersell you on combat and say what you see is what you get and just be happy with that. And then if at some point in time we actually see a polish that is a game changer, then you'll just be happy with that polish and you won't be disappointed in the fact that that gameplay or that combat is the way that we're seeing it today. And I do have to question some of the functionality of some of the skills and abilities on players versus on NPCs. The voice commands a NPC to run towards you and just stand there. Now, does that work on players? That's my real question. Can you make a player just run towards you and just stand there waiting for whatever, the sun to come up, a sandstorm, I don't know, being shot in the face? If that works in PvP, that is going to be one of the more overpowered skills in my opinion. If it doesn't work in PvP, then it's almost a useless skill, and I have to wonder how they have structured those things. Do all the skills work in PvP, player or NPC, or do some of the skills only work in PvE and they are blocked or unusable, or they just don't work in PvP? And I'm sure there's a ton more to discover in gameplay from the other interactions that we're going to have around the world, kind of raiding the different locations that were mentioned in the live stream, as well as exploring the other skills and the building, everything that kind of goes into your daily loop and gameplay style. So I'll be interested to see if there's more information coming out about that. Otherwise, we'll just have to wait until May 20th, unless you buy the premium packages, which give you a 5-day head start above everybody else that decided to buy the base version of the game. Like I said, I'll have more videos covering more things that were discovered or revealed in this live stream, as well as videos in the future as we get more information, so remember to subscribe to the channel. And let me know in the comment section below, are you excited for Dune Awakening? And if you could pick one thing out of everything that you've seen, what is that one item that just makes you really want to play Dune Awakening? I'd like to thank all my YouTube members for your continued support. Y'all are absolute legends. Don't forget to whack the like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more content. And if you don't want to be out of whack, there's another video on the screen right now that you can click to support more of my content.